The Time Mapping Game. Tyrone Powers, The Black Swan, 1942, by the Alexander, Sasha, Stefan, 2021. Tyrone Powers, The Black Swan, 1942, Stefan Popovich and Milorad Popovich, Time Mapping Game, The Alexander, Sasha, Stefan, 2021. The Time Mapping Game. My childhood invention. The time mapping is, says Stefan, the game I invented in my childhood and still do play currently. I visualize having before me the tapestry of time. On the tapestry of time, I connect the major individual, topic, event, with the twin, relating to the same day, the same month, not necessarily the same year, individual, topic, event. In connecting individuals via their birthdays or flatline days, I employ the following terms. The two individuals with the same birthdays, not necessarily the same year, are referred to as the birthday twins. For the two individuals with overlapped birthday and flatline day, not necessarily the same year, I invented the term, the birth flatline day twins. For the two individuals with the same flatline day, died on the same day, the same month, not necessarily the same year, I invented the term, the flatline date twins. The Black Swan event. The Alexander, Sasha, Stefan. Time mapping loop. Birthday flatline day, twins. Flatline day, twins. Milorad Popovich. Died May 5, 1948. Tyrone Power. Born May 5, 1914. Died November 15, 1958. Stefan Popovich. Milo's father. Died November 15, 1967. Sasha had seen Tyrone Powers, The Black Swan, as a child, and was impressed by Mr. Power. His mother, Rosanda, would take him to the movies, as a toddler, so to speak, initiating Sasha's passion for the movies. The Black Swan symbolizes the crucial event that may lead to suffering. Milo's death from the injuries sustained in World War II as he was fighting against the Nazis, the only son of Sasha's maternal grandfather, Stefan, was truly a black swan tragedy for the whole family. The Fibonacci. Birthdays and flatline days. May 5th is a Fibonacci month and a Fibonacci day. Here are some Fibonacci numbers: 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and 34. Western world got to know about these numbers through Fibonacci. That's why. Fibonacci numbers. Actually, much older civilizations were aware of these numbers, the Kabbalah number mystics, among others. The French Revolution started on May 5, 1789. Karl Marx was born on May 5, 1818. Napoleon Bonaparte died on May 5, 1821. The Nazi Führer wanted to commit suicide on May 5, 1945, but, due to the fast advance of the Soviet Red Army, he was forced to do that earlier, on April 30, 1945. Regarding January 8, which is both a Fibonacci month and a Fibonacci day, here are 3 examples. Elvis Aaron Presley, born on January 8, 1935. Stephen William Hawking, born on January 8, 1942. Alexander Mikhailovich Prohorov died on January 8, 2002, my colleague and friend, a Nobel Prize winner in physics in 1964. Power of intuition. Speaking of Tyrone power and his power in the world of cinema, says Stefan, let me say a few words, or more, on power in general, and on power of intuition, in particular. In physics and science research, intuition is, like, a person tells you, dig right here, and you will find your gold. Einstein had been extremely lucky with his intuition. Wherever he would dig, he would, almost always, find the gold. I refer to this as the acquiring of vertical knowledge. The founders of religious thought mostly operate on this level. All the great ones in physics, from Newton to Einstein to Gell-Mann, have been essentially intuitive physicists, as opposed to the army of the number-crunching physicists. In Russia, oh those Russians, they say, when the Tsar builds, there's a plenty of work for the guilds. Einstein had an intuitive revelation when he was 13 to 14 years old, which, in his early 20s, led to his invention of his special theory of relativity, a theoretical tool to probe the nature of nature. The right time of Solomon always arrives via intuition, instantly, but after rational or emotional efforts, or both. In scientific research, you always come to the point when you have realized that any further effort via the sweat on your eyebrows, I refer to this as the acquiring of horizontal knowledge, will have not brought you the solution. Then, you just take it easy, go fishing, so to speak, and wait for the right time to come, when your intuition will have brought you that ha-ha idea to solve the problem. You can evaluate the intensity of your intuition based on how hard it hits you. If your intuition has hit you like a jackhammer, causing your brain damage, that's good. You will be referred to as the mad physicist. And you will go in history of physics as the great one. Victor Frederick Weisskopf, my colleague friend of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, used to say this: great insight, intuition, does lead to great power. Great power, always, does lead to abuse. Weisskopf knows it best. He worked on the USA Manhattan Project, the atomic bomb project, in Los Alamos, New Mexico, in the first half of the 1940s. The power of physics, and science, in general, should never be abused. Accordingly, the public supervision, excluding some sensitive national defense projects, of all national research is of utmost importance. Weisskopf's words also apply to political power, military power, and so on and so forth. As to the political power, the example of the Maximilien Robespierre's reign of terror is staggering. When the guillotined heads were rolling in France. Let me say now about the power of intuition in everyday life. We all experience it, now and then. Say, you come to the bar to have a drink with a friend. Out of nowhere, the image of your old, long-lost friend pops in your mind. A few minutes later, your long-lost friend is behind you, calling your name. It appears as if your intuition made you see through time. As to my seeing through time, here is one story from my early elementary school days. This was in Titograd, Podgorica, Montenegro, Yugoslavia. I was walking, along with my mother, Rosanda, approaching the bridge on the river Milorad. I spotted, not far in front of us, a man approaching the bridge, too. I told my mother that the man was going to jump off the bridge in apparent suicide. Which was exactly what happened just in several seconds later on. My mother gave me a brick and mortar explanation of my experience, which I found disheartening. Without the brick and mortar attitude, life is unsustainable. Without the spiritual attitude, the true beauty of life cannot be experienced, it seems to me. My childhood, mysterious intuition was the cause that my kids' friends and adults alike felt some sweet discomfort in my presence. I had felt it. This was misunderstood as the matter of my intelligence, and I was forced to take the American IQ test. I scored 185. I still do not know what it means. Later on, I lost that capability. Yet, in my daily workings, I strongly rely on my intuition, which is now closer to sensing of, or waiting for, the right time of Solomon. That can appear as procrastination, but, in actuality, it is the positive procrastination that, more or less, facilitates your success. In writing 2002 to 2007, my fiction fantasy novel, The Falstaff Trilogy, I endowed Dr. Falstaff with the capability of seeing through time.